Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So I have a bit of stuff for you today. So many of you told me that you like my stories and for me to jibber jabber. Well, have I got a story for you today? But I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to do it later. I don't know if I'll do it in the middle of the video or at the end of the video. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Let's see how things go. So I hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday so far. I don't even know what time it is. 20 to 12. So that means this will probably go up at 5 o'clock by the time I'm done doing everything. I'm not the quickest at getting these ready to post. So I have a yarn haul for you. A crazy yarn haul. 4 different places that I got yarn. You know, when a deal comes up, a deal comes up. You can't pass it up. Pass it up. But I think, hopefully, after this, I'm on a yarn freeze for a while. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can do it. I have obediently stayed away from Joann. I know that they've been bringing in more yarn, and I have not gone to check it because I know me. I haven't bought any of their Posh yarn. I don't have any of the newer colors that they had. It was always sold out at the store, so I don't know if they brought any in. But I do have yarn from Dollar Tree and Hobie and Bernat and a gift that I received from someone. And I'll tell you all about that very soon, very soon. But first, I have a little video that Grumpy did of me in Dollar Tree last week. We had gone for dog treats, I think. And there was something else I needed. I don't remember anymore what it was. But I happened to see they had yarn again. They haven't carried yarn for, over a year, I think. And I have seen lots of people with new colors that they had gotten from Dollar Tree, and I didn't have any of those colors. So I walked over there. I know, I bought Easter cards. That's what it was. I needed Easter cards. So I walked over to the yarn, and they had new colors. New colors. So I was in my glory. I'm picking out those new colors and saying, okay, I like to have them on hand every now and again. If I'm making small things, I like to use the Just Chenille yarn. It's the yarn I started with. It's the yarn I started making plushies with. So, of course, I had to buy some. And of course, Grumpy pulled out the phone and videoed it. Now, I don't believe he held the phone in the right direction so that it comes out horizontally. I think it's vertical, but I'm going to run it anyway. All right, I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, there she is.
They have new colors. I don't have these. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Perfect. And dark brown, too. They never had these colors before.
We're in Dollar Tree, by the way. As if you couldn't tell, right? Okay, this is. She's already done the damage. Here's our cart. More yarn.
That's it. I'm done. I'm done. There I was. New colors. Had to get them. Had to get them. And when he showed you that basket, my enabler, he was like, well, buy all of that color. Well, buy all of that color. I don't need all of that color. Usually when I go to Dollar Tree, I limit myself to 5 because the skeins are very small. But I'll buy 5 of them, and maybe I'll use them, maybe I won't. But I'll show you the colors better than just a pile of colors. I was very happy with the colors that they had there. Thinking of Christmas in advance, they had a really pretty Christmas green, and it's called Deep Emerald. Isn't that pretty? Of course, green's my favorite color, so girl's never met a green she doesn't like. And then finally, I knew they had red, but I've never seen it, and now I got red. And this is called Crimson. I should put my glasses on, right? So I can read these things. Sorry. So Crimson, nice. Yep, still the same stuff, pretty thin. But I made a lot of plushies with this yarn. And then they had this new pink. They didn't have many of these. They only had 2, so I bought the 2 they had. And this one is called Hibiscus. Isn't that pretty? Pretty, pretty. Oh, it doesn't look as pretty pink on camera as it does in my hand, but it's a very bright pink. Very pretty. Very pretty. And then they had this new yarn that I've never had. It's called Just Chenille Medley. And it's almost a tweedy kind of yarn. This one's called Navy. Interesting, right? And they had black. I can make something out of these. I can make something out of these. But what I was most happy about was, look at that beautiful tan color. Oh, I love it. I should have bought all of these because I love this color so much. But I bought 5 of these. And then, look, they had this color called Cocoa. Look at that beautiful brown. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I was so impressed. So impressed. So I filled the basket. I bought 5 of all of these colors. Each of these colors, except for that hibiscus pink, they didn't have it. So that was my Dollar Tree yarn haul. With the aid of Grumpy saying buy more, buy more. All right, what came next? What came next? Oh, I was sitting in my chair in the family room where I crochet, and something was delivered to the house. Now, I had put in an order with Hobie, and it was delayed or something. It was taking a while to get here. Usually I get it quite quickly. So I thought, oh good, must be my Hobie yarn, but I could see through my ring on my phone that it was 2 bags. And I went, they wouldn't ship it like that. That's kind of weird. So I walked out and I picked up the 2 bags. They were pretty heavy and brought them back in. And I said, this is really weird. Hobie doesn't send like this. So I took my scissors and I cut across the top of the first bag. And I said, what is this? I didn't order this. And this is, dropping everything today. And this is what it was. It was a big skein of Bernat. Beautiful blue colors, teal colors. What's it called? I don't know if this is an old, Teal Dreams is the name of it. Very, very pretty. Very pretty. So I'm saying, what the heck? They don't send Bernat blanket. So I flipped it over to look at the label, and it was from a friend. It was from a friend, my friend Julie. She's the creative chica on my paper crafting group. And I went, oh wow. And she sent me a lovely card. Sorry, my head just blocked everything, but she sent me a pretty card with it. And I won't read the message because it's personal. But on this side, she just said, enjoy, keep crocheting. Hugs and love, Julie, the creative chica. What a surprise. Paper crafting side is very, very generous with sending gifts to everybody. It was always fun because you never knew if somebody was going to send you something. It might have just been a card, or it could have been, people have sent me paper, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of stuff. But she sent me a bunch of yarn. I have 2 skeins of this. And one of them she had rolled up in a ball. So 2 full like this and this one. 1, 2, yeah. And then some of this Bernat blanket called, now this comes from her stash, I'm sure. Where'd my glasses go? I'm sorry, I keep bending over. It's going to be a weird video, I know already. This is cranberry. So looks like she may have used a little bit of this. Maybe not, I don't know. Maybe it's just a small skein. 108 yards. So yeah, that's a bit smaller than what Bernat's used to be. So this may be a whole skein. And then this yarn I've never used before. Oh, it's so soft though. And it's called Bernat Chunky. It's not a chenille yarn, but it's a nice thick yarn. I bet I can make something with that. I bet I can make something with that. I like it. The color is teal. How about that? This teal looking yarn is teal. She sent me that one. I think this is another opened of that crimson color. So she sent me quite a bit. She packed those bags full of yarn. And she also sent me this giant skein of Bernat Baby sport weight yarn, which is what I always use to make baby blankets. This kind of got me missing making my baby blankets. So hopefully I hear of somebody having a baby boy, and I'm set to go. I'm set to go. If you're watching, Julie, thank you, my friend. I know that we've emailed each other about this, but thank you so much. And I told Julie that I would take some of this yarn and make something with it for me that I can keep, that every time I look at it, I'll think of her for giving it to me. So I really appreciate you thinking of me. That meant so much. That meant so much. So I made her a card and sent her one of my little kitty plushies because she likes kitties. So we both got little unexpected gifts. Unexpected gifts. So then I was on the lookout. I was on Amazon for something. I don't know what. Looking around, seeing what I can spend money on that I don't need to spend money on probably. And oops, there goes one of my plushies. He's on the run, he's on the run. This is a messed up video. I really apologize, but you'll understand later. You'll understand later. And I was looking for, oh, I know, I was looking for the mystical yarn I don't have. It's one of my favorite Bernat mystical yarns. Oh, it's just so pretty and so easy to work with. I just absolutely love it. But I was missing a color. I believe they have 14 different colors. And I was missing a color called Phlox. And it's a pretty pink color. And you know how popular pink is with us making plushies. They had it. And I did not know until that day when I brought up the name of the color, which is Phlox. In the description, it had go to Bernat's store. And I went, Bernat has a store on Amazon? I never knew that. And I clicked it, and sure enough, popped up Bernat, and all different kinds of Bernat yarn came up. I went, wow. So the mystical skeins are really pink. I'm afraid this, big, not pink. This may look purple on camera. I don't know. I'll see in a minute when I hold it up. But I found the Phlox color. I was so happy. I said, oh, good. This will give me every color of mystical yarn. So, of course, I bought 2. Well, they were selling the bags of 2 for $19, which is cheaper than buying it in the store because it's $12 or $13 in the store. So that was a little less money, which I was very surprised about. but this is the color, and that's so pretty. And I love how the mystical, it might be hard to see on camera, but can you see the variations in the colors? See how some is so light and then it goes a little darker. And it looks so pretty when you make it up. Oh, I love this stuff. Love this stuff. So I bought 2 of those. Well, while I was, here's the other one. I have one of my bags on the floor that I put my plushies in when I go to a market, and I'm throwing the yarn in there. Then I'll figure out where to put it after. And then another one that's very hard to find. I had found one skein of this, but I knew I would end up using more than that. And they had it, and I just got it yesterday, finally. And it's called Crystal Ocean. Crystal Ocean. It's so pretty. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This was a little more expensive, surprisingly. This was like $23 for two. It's so soft. If you haven't tried Bernat Mystical yarn yet, you need to, because I can't rave about it enough. I just can't. It's impossible. So I got 2. So nice. Look at this. My bag is almost full already. Takes a lot more plushies than that to fill it. And finally, my order from Hobie came in. And the only reason I ordered from them was because they were having a sale and because I needed some white yarn. And of course, you had to buy like $49 worth of yarn to get free shipping, and I hate paying for shipping. So I looked through all their colors, and they have quite a bit. So I said, well, there might be something in there I can use. And there was, of course. But this is Baby Snuggle. I've never used the Baby Snuggle. I'm looking at my, yes, one item I made with Sweet Snuggles. Or, no, one of their other yarns. I can't remember what the name of it is. So, Baby Snuggle in white, I bought 4 because I needed white. I had very little left. So let's get rid of all the whites. 4 white yarn. Should be another one here someplace. Uh-oh, I might have taken it out already. It may be one I used. And then I was looking through the colors and what could I use? Well, bright yellow. Yellow is very popular. I can't give you color names because they don't put the color names on here. It's just numbers. But this is really nice and bright. Nice bright yellow. I don't know. Yellow makes me happy. It's a pretty color. Pretty color. So I got 2. I've learned the hard way to never buy one skein of yarn of a color. Buy at least 2. And then this was very nice. I liked this a lot. It reminds me of Mushroom in Parfait Chunky. Yes, very similar to Mushroom. And I bought 2 of these. Now this looks a little bit thinner, the Baby Snuggle, than the other Hobie yarn I was using, which I can't remember the name of because they have so many different ones. If I think of it, I'll put it up here, of the one I was using. But I bought these because their chenille yarn usually is like $10 a skein, and no way I am paying $10 for a little skein of yarn. And I lost my glasses again. And 131 yards, just like Parfait Chunky. So I bought 2 of these because these colors always come in handy. When in doubt, buy neutral. You'll find something to use it for. Oh, here's my 4th. Here's my 4th white. Look at that, bag is full. And then fall is coming. And I love crocheting for the fall. Let's see if I can do this without dropping. And then they had this color that I just loved. Loved. And it's like a burnt orange color. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? I love that color. Perfect for the fall. Perfect for the fall. So I bought 3 of those. Does anybody keep count of how much yarn I've got? Because this bag is overflowing. Overflowing with yarn. Wow. I am on a yarn buying freeze. I hope I don't ever run out of a color I need, because I really don't want to buy any more yarn. So let me move this bag out of my way. Sorry for the crinkling, but that's what these are like. That's what these are like. So that's my yarn haul. So, if I seem a little bit off kilter today, I'll tell you my story now. It's been a rough few days. Grumpy and I were in a car accident on Sunday. We were hit. We were coming home. It was around lunchtime. And we were about, I don't know, 2 miles from my house. And everything's nice and normal, going smoothly, not going fast. Knew this big intersection was coming. So, and I hate that intersection. It's so big and so many accidents happen there. So slow down. He slowed down. I was looking at my phone. I was looking up something to tell him about. And I heard this noise. And I didn't know what the noise was. And I brought my head up and looked over to the side, and this big truck. It was a big, huge pickup truck hauling a trailer, and it was enclosed in the back, a big, long trailer. And I saw him coming towards us, and there was nothing we could do. He just smashed right into the front of our car on my side. And then the trailer, I believe, swung and hit us in the rear. I'll tell you, I tell everybody, Grumpy saved our life that day, because I don't know how he kept our car in control, but he did. And there was a CVS just down the road a very short way, and the truck was stopping. I had no idea what was going on. I was shaking like crazy. I was pinned to the car because the seat belt pulled me back and locked, and it was so like I just touched this. Oof, so sore. But it just pinned me to the car, and Grumpy's locked up on him too. And the airbags didn't deploy, which was great. Airbags didn't deploy. And I'll put up a couple pictures of our car. My poor car. And he was able to pull over into the CVS parking lot. At least we were off the road, which was a good thing. Next thing I knew, rescue was there. They were coming over. They were putting leads on me to do an EKG. And one of them kept saying, do you want to go to the hospital? Do you want to go to the hospital? I didn't even know what was wrong with me yet, if there was anything wrong with me yet. It was really strange. Is it dark in here? Let me just brighten the light a little bit. And I was just in a daze. I truly didn't know what just happened. I knew we got hit, but how or what, I don't know. So I said, I don't know if I should go. I just had an accident almost a year ago. That's not settled yet with the insurance companies paying the medical bills. And now here we go again. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. So he comes back and he said, I called an ambulance. I think you should go to the hospital. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to go through this. I did not want to go. So the ambulance came, and then they put all their leads on me, and they're checking my heart. And are you hurt? Well, I hit my head and I have a headache, but you know, stress can do that too. I mean, I was stressed. So they got me in the ambulance, and all I kept saying is, don't take me to Brandon Hospital, don't take me to Brandon Hospital, take me to the other two, I don't care, but don't take me there. And my EMT on the ambulance was a sweetheart. His name was Raphael. He was so cute, such a sweetheart. And he was trying to joke with me the whole way and calm me down. And we weren't very far from the hospital, maybe a mile and a half. It was a very short ride. So in the emergency room I go, and boy, things are hazy at this point. What happened then? They put me in a room. Someone came in and asked me if I was hurting anywhere, and I said my chest, and I probably shouldn't have said my chest because that led to a whole bunch of stuff. But I meant from the seatbelt. I said from the seatbelt, you know. So they checked to see if I was bruised and blah, blah, blah. Did you hit your head? Yes. Did you pass out? No. I just got a headache. Can I just have some Tylenol? Just a headache, and my face was numb. My face was numb over here. Other than that, my hip hurt a little bit, but that was all seatbelt related. I'm sure that was all seatbelt related. So next thing I know, I'm off for a CAT scan of my head, my whole body, from my head to my hips. Well, let me make a long story short, because I did not expect all of this. They decided to admit me because they did blood work, and my troponin level in my blood was slightly high, very slightly high. That's a heart enzyme. And I said, well, you can't keep me. She says, well, the bad news is we don't have any beds upstairs. So I was in the emergency room from around 12:30 Sunday until 6 o'clock Monday night. So 2 days in an emergency room on a gurney, hooked up to all of these things. So I couldn't get up. Oh, no bathroom, of course, in the room, because you're in the emergency room, so you have to walk down the hall to pee, for goodness sakes. It was a nightmare. And then they put an IV in. They couldn't. I have teeny tiny little veins that are very hard to get. And even when I go for normal blood work, I have to tell them all the time, use my hand. It's the only place you're going to find a vein you can get the blood work from. But everybody thinks they're a pro, and they go jabbing you where they want to jab you. Well, I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4 sticks before they got the IV in, which they never, well, I think they used once to draw blood, but they never connected a saline pouch to it or anything, never anything. So that, I couldn't use my arm, you know, it was right here. Try to sleep with that sucker sticking in you. Boy, who could sleep? Who could sleep? So they ordered a echocardiogram for the next day. And fortunately, the girl came early. Very, very nice. I have to say, everybody there was extraordinarily nice. They were really nice. I think I saw a doctor once for 2 minutes. He came over, listened to my chest, asked me if I had any pain, and left. That's it. That's the only time I saw a doctor. No, that's a lie. 2 people from the cardiac department came in. I believe one was a nurse practitioner, and the other one was a very, very, very young doctor. He never said a word. He just looked at me. It was weird. It was weird. And they just came in to explain to me about the troponin levels, and it's a little bit high, and with your age, and blah, blah, blah. And so we're going to keep you, and we're going to do an echocardiogram in the morning. Okay, now we're doing the echocardiogram, and the technologist doing it wants to insert contrast. So she comes over to the IV to insert contrast. Well, guess what? They never ran anything through that IV. So it infiltrated and was no good. So she couldn't do the contrast on the test. And I'm saying, yeah, it's sticking me again. I've had enough of this. This is... So she left. She says, well, if this is good enough for the doctor, we won't have to do that part, and we won't have to have another IV put in. Okay, I hope this is good. So she left, and I sat there all day long. Grumpy would come and go. I know it was so boring for him, sitting in this little room, and what can you do? I did have a TV in the room, though, but I'm not a TV watcher. I never turned the TV on when I was in the room by myself. And finally, Monday night, around 6 o'clock, my nurse came in and she said, good news, we have a room for you. You're going upstairs. I said, what do you mean I'm going upstairs? Aren't I going home? What's the results of the test? Didn't the doctor read the test? It was done this morning. And she goes, no, they want to keep you one more night. Well, that drives you crazy, right? It makes you so nervous. So off we go upstairs to my room. Gorgeous room, beautiful room, huge. Finally had my own bathroom. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know. Grumpy brought me some Diet Coke. I was happy to have some Diet Coke because they didn't have any in this hospital. They had Pepsi products, and I don't drink Pepsi. And so nothing happened Monday night. I was just laying in that room. Of course, they came over. A shift change of nurses, and the nurse said, I have to put another IV in. I said, for what? For what? Because I've had it now with needles being stuck in me. And she says, well, it's hospital rule that we need to have an IV in the patients so that if there's an emergency, it's already there. And I said, no, not letting you do it. To put that first IV in, they had to get an ultrasound machine and find a vein with the ultrasound. That's how bad my veins are. I said, no, you can't do it if the professional for doing this couldn't do it without an ultrasound. No, I'm not letting you do it. She kind of gave me a look like, oh, well. And of course, she came back later with everything to try to put an IV in. I said, you're not going to get it. You're going to stick me for nothing. And of course she tried, and that's that nice little bruise right there. You see that? Can't twist my arm that way. I said, nope, it's not going to work. Yeah, she tried there. It didn't work. But everybody knows better. And she couldn't get it. She goes, forget it. She says, I'm not doing it again. She says, if in the morning they feel they need to do that other part of the test, then we'll call in the professionals and they'll come and do it. And you can have the rest of the test done. I did not expect this. I did not expect this. Fortunately, one of the nurses that was leaving, she was my nurse for like 20 minutes, and then they had this shift change. She came over to me. She says, I just read your echo. It's fine. She says, there's nothing on there, to worry about. She says, it's really good. And I said, oh, good. I said, so I don't have to have this IV again and go through all of this. Of course, no, I don't think you're going to have to do that. Then the other nurse got mad, and she goes, we're not supposed to be telling the patients this stuff. She goes, well, she's been waiting for all this time, and she's here, and she doesn't even know why she's here. I never saw a doctor. Never saw a doctor. Even the next day, yesterday morning, I thought a doctor would come in and explain to me about the heart issues, if there was anything. But it was the same NP that came. She was very, very sweet, very nice. And she said, your echo's good. We don't have to do anything else. Explain about the troponin levels and all of that kind of stuff. She goes, so on my end, I think you're okay to go home, but I don't have the authority to release you. It has to be the doctor. Wait some more. She said, but I am going to call her and advise her that I think that you're good to go. You can go home. She says, as far as your heart goes, it's healthy, it looks good. You have a little bit of fluid in the sac around the heart. She says, nothing to worry about. It's just a small amount, but you should follow up with a cardiologist. And of course, their cardiologist, that same guy who came into the emergency room and never said anything to me. I have not made an appointment yet. I will, I guess. And then before she left, she looked at me. She goes, you are extremely healthy for a woman your age. Yay me. Yay me. So finally, around 1 or 2 o'clock yesterday, they released me. And I'm home, of course. I'm doing this. Oh, first thing I did was just go to bed. I took my puppy, who was so excited to see me home, took him with me. We laid down on the bed, and he laid right up against me, and he put his little head on my arm, and we took a nap. We took a nap. And, well, he got up a lot sooner than I did. I slept for a few hours because, boy, hospitals are the worst place to try to sleep. This video's going long, and I'm sorry. But anyway, that's my exciting story for the week. We take the car in tomorrow for an estimate to see if it even can be repaired. You saw the pictures, so it's pretty bad. I can't sit in the front seat because my seatbelt doesn't work at all. So I had to go for allergy shots today, and my dog had a grooming appointment today, and blah, 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 blah. And I had to sit in the back seat where the seatbelts were working. The door wasn't working so great, but the seatbelt was working. So we'll see tomorrow what they say about repairing the car. I don't know what's happening. I can't wait to get the police report and see what he said, what actually happened, because we're not 100% sure. That he said that he rear-ended a car in front of him first. So I think what happened was he rear-ended the car in front of him, lost control, came over and crashed into us. But we'll see what the report says. But I'm okay. I'm a little sore. I'm okay. They called me this morning. I have to see my regular GP on Friday as a follow-up from the hospital. That'll be nothing. She'll be good about it all, as long as I'm good. And go on. I'll tell you, I don't want to be in a car. I don't even want to be in a car. It's insane. So be careful out there, because you might be the best driver in the world, but those people on the side of you or behind you. Last year we were rear-ended, and Sunday we got hit on the side. Crazy. So that's my story for this week. Enough. enough. I made some plushies. I had a few made before all of this happened. So of course I didn't make any for a few days because I was in the hospital. And when I woke up from my nap, Grumpy had dinner just about ready. So we had dinner. And then before the accident had happened, I was looking through some of my old PDF printed patterns, because I don't want to buy more if I don't have to. It's dangerous to go on Etsy because I'll end up buying stuff. So I didn't buy any new patterns, and I went looking through some old patterns. My intention for this week was to make plushies that always sell for me, just to show you what are good sellers for me. Well, I had gotten 2 of them done last week. I got a test done last week, and then I was in the hospital for a few days, and last night I made two more that I pulled out that were printed on paper. And one of them was because someone asked for one at that market I did with Robin, and I didn't have any. So I made one of those. And the other one, just going through them, I looked at it and I went, oh, I always liked that. I don't know why I stopped making them. They're kind of cute. So I made this last night. This is made with Hobie, whatever we call it, yarn. And I had made this quite a while ago. And every one I made, I sold. So I thought I would show it to you. It's a chunky mouse. How cute is that? I don't know. If any of you have been with me for a while, you probably remember it. How cute is this? Couldn't tell you who the designer is, but if I can find the pattern, oh, I have to go through that paper again because I don't have it written down, but I will print everything in the description below. So if you want to make it, it's not a great pattern, I'll tell you. She's got a lot of mistakes in it, and you got to kind of figure out things on your own. Like, she tells you to stuff the mouse before you even put the eyes in, and then as you go down the way, oh, she puts beads. Oh, now you can glue your beads in. It's like, oh, so I had to undo the bottom, pull out the stuffing, put the eyes in. It was a pain. Redo the bottom, but isn't it cute? So I think what I'm going to do is, through the summer, because I don't like to do the same thing over and over again right away, I did a white one, I'll do a gray one, I'll do a brown one. And I'll have 3 little mice for my next market. Cute, cute, I like it. I like it. And then what everybody was asking, not everybody, but people had asked me for at the market was an owl. They wanted an owl. I didn't have any. And this too I made quite a while ago, way over a year ago. And I just never made any more, and I don't know why, because it sold. It sold, I don't have any. So that's what I was digging through the paper patterns for. I had looked on my iPad, I didn't have it on that. So I knew it had to be in with the paper patterns, because that's what I was doing at first, was printing out all the patterns, because I didn't know I could save them on my iPad. I know that now. So I made this little owl last night. How cute is that? How cute is that? Cute, cute, big, big eyes. I made these a little bit bigger than what the pattern called for, because when you looked at the picture, her eyes were very big, like this. But when I followed the pattern, it was 1 row smaller, and it really made a significant difference. So I made it bigger. I also used a bigger hook than she suggested. I have some fluff on there because I wanted it a little bit bigger, but I think this is a good size for market, and I'll make 2 more of these. I've decided that if it's something I think may sell, I'm going to make 3 of them and have them ready, because I doubt I'm going to do another market until the fall. So that's my owl. Cute, cute, toot, toot. Now, one of the things that sells for me every time, oh no, there goes the mouse. Every time I make it are my puppies. And sold my last one at the market a couple weeks ago. So decided to make another, and I made a blue one this time. Isn't he too cute? Isn't he too cute with his big ears? I always make these out of velvet yarn. I don't know why. It doesn't call for velvet in the pattern. But every one I've ever made is sold. Every one. So blue in the light brown or tannish color I made that I had at the last market sold right away. That's the lady who just came in and grabbed it off the shelf and brought it over to me. Okay, I guess I need to make more puppies. They're not hard to make. Not hard to make. Just, you just have to make all the bits, but everything is worked into the pattern. It's got his little tail in the back. You crochet it in, except you sew on the head and the muzzle. Other than that, the arms, the legs, ears are all crocheted, and the tail is crocheted into the pattern. I love this. I've made lots of these, and a little tired of making them maybe, but they still sell, so I'm gonna keep plugging and make more. So I'll make another tan one. I don't know what the 3rd color will be yet. What color do you think? Pink, maybe? So a little girl can have a puppy? I don't know. Tell me what color you think. But he's a cutie and easy make. Cute, cute, cute. And another thing that always sells, and I did not have, and what do I got here? I got something. I didn't have any at this market because I had sold out of them, were my little unicorns. Always sell. Always sell. And I always make them the same. This is tail. You can intertwine the two and make one big tail. I like them. I like it loose. And excuse me for just not remembering who the pattern maker is off the top of my head, but now that I told you my story, I'm sure you can understand. But isn't he cute? Cute, cute. Little pink feet. Love this yarn. This is Bernat Blanket. Pitter Patter, I think is the name of it. The white is Sweet Snuggles. And the pink is Sweet Snuggles. And this yellow is probably Sweet Snuggles. So this one's out of Sweet Snuggles. This is Bernat Velvet. Bernat Velvet yarn. Not Bernat Baby Velvet. The regular Bernat Velvet. So that's my little unicorn. Oh my. I'm going. Last one I promise. So I did a test again. Oh my gosh. Names are just not coming to me. I guess I hit my head harder than I thought. But I think this is adorable and I definitely will be making this again. I'll put the description below. This is Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Made him with Parfait Chunky. I just think he's adorable. I just think he's so cute. Nice, easy pattern. Very well written. Very well written. And I've tested for her several times. And like all of her patterns. But I think he just came out so cute. So now we're bugging her to make things like Eeyore and Piglet. So easy pattern test, easy pattern to read, easy to make. If you like Winnie the Pooh, this is the pattern for you. That rhymed. So pattern was released yesterday or today, I'm not sure. And it'll be on her Etsy page. So I will, like I said, I'll put that link below to her Etsy page. So if you're interested in making a Winnie, here you go. How cute is that? Perfect size for a market. Not too big, not too small. Nice medium size Winnie the Pooh. Cute, cute, cute. And that's it, because I was MIA for a few days and couldn't crochet. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Sorry this is so long, but things piled up on me and I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. But I figured I would show this all to you today. So again, have a great rest of your week. Until next time, keep crocheting. Bye.